Hi, welcome to the Idea Center Career Corner. I'm Dr. Carol Parker Walsh, the Assistant Director with the Idea Center, and today we're going to go over LinkedIn basics. We're going to talk about what is LinkedIn, why you should definitely be using this platform, and some ways you can enhance your profile so that you get known and found. So, what is LinkedIn? It's primarily a social networking tool that allows you to strengthen your professional brand for potential employers. It allows you to maintain and expand your network of professional contacts and for you to conduct research related to your career. One thing I would say is think of LinkedIn as your professional website. When you think about websites that you go on for companies or organizations, you see that they put themselves out there, they're marketing themselves, they're letting people know what they're about, who they are, and what they can do for a potential buyer or client. You want to do the same thing for yourself. You want to position your LinkedIn profile as if it's your professional website so that if recruiters or employers land on your website, they can see who you are, what you're about, and why you're the ideal candidate for the position that they're hiring for. Now, the people who use LinkedIn are job seekers and internship seekers, as well as established professionals. They will definitely have a profile there. Also, business owners are more and more often using LinkedIn, or creating LinkedIn profiles, and industries that you otherwise would not have thought before are beginning to use LinkedIn more and more, like healthcare and education. Also, companies and employers are predominant users of LinkedIn, and recruiters, 92% of them use LinkedIn to find their candidates, and 94% of them use them to vet their candidates. Whenever you submit an application, whenever you network or meet someone, the first place they're going to go to is look up your LinkedIn profile. And you want that profile to be the best representation of who you are as possible. If it's left blank, it leaves room for the people to wonder about who you are and what you're about. And you never want a hiring manager or a recruiter to think and wonder and to fill in the blanks about who they think you are when you could have provided the information that lets them know exactly who you are and what you have to offer. Now, LinkedIn primarily is a search engine, and so it relies heavily on keywords. Keywords are king. So, when recruiters or others are looking to find individuals or find people in certain careers, or to see if they're particularly talented in one way or another, they're going to use that search bar and type in those keywords to give them all of the profiles that fit what they're looking for. So, you want to make sure that you are using the right keywords to make sure that you are found. You also want to make sure that you are considered an active member and user of LinkedIn as opposed to a passive user. For LinkedIn, the algorithms designate anyone with at least 500 connections or more as an active user. If you have under 500, they consider you a passive user and someone that maybe doesn't need to be found. So, one of the things that you want to work on as you're a student every year is to increase the number of connections that you have. Start with the people that you know, start with your friends, your fellow students, and even go to alumni and connect with them. And then begin to branch out and utilize LinkedIn as a networking platform to really build those connections so that LinkedIn considers you an active user. Now, why should you use this platform? Well, because it is the fastest growing platform, particularly in since 2020, one of the fastest growing social media platforms that you can be a part of. There are over 600 billion users on LinkedIn. And so this is the place that you want to be. It's where you can establish your professional brand. It's where you can maintain and expand your network. You can do research for industries, companies, and jobs that you want. And as I said, most importantly is your professional website. So you can publish projects or articles or interviews or other type of media that would really expose and expand who you are and what you're about. You can publish articles on LinkedIn. You can post information that lets people see that you're an active participant and someone who is interested in a particular field or job. So it's a perfect place to be able to showcase who you are and to network with not just your local people in your community, but literally with people from around the world. Now, it's a main engine as well to establish your personal brand. So, as you're building your profile, you want to consider who's your audience? Who are the people that you want to reach? Who do you want to be to find you and to find your profile? What are some of the accomplishment skills or the keywords that matter most to your target audience, right? Not just what you think is important, but what are people looking for? And you want to make sure that you have that on your profile as well. And you want to figure out a way to articulate all of that very succinctly and clearly. Now, LinkedIn gives you an opportunity to expand a little bit more than what you can on your resume. You want to think of your resume more as a marketing brochure and think of your profile as your website. So it allows you to go a little bit more robust in what you add to your website, but you still want to be very succinct and clear so that those who land on your website understand what you're talking about and are very clear in terms of what you're looking for. In addition, you want to use those keywords, remember, that are very primary and important for search engine optimization. The best way to find your best keywords is to look up a few of the job descriptions that you're interested in. Find some of those descriptions, look at how they're describing the jobs that you want, and pull some keywords from those job descriptions as descriptors for yourself, as descriptors for the work that you've done, so that your profile can really be something that when people land there, they're like, yes, this is exactly who I'm looking for. It's not about copying someone else, but it's about getting the right way to describe who you are so that you are the ideal and sought after candidate someone is looking for. So look at job descriptions, look at other profiles of people that inspire you. Again, do not copy, but definitely look at profiles that are really done well that you like and their style and how they're listing things. And maybe there's some verbiage that you can use in your own descriptors for yourself. Also, make sure that your privacy settings are set so that people can find you. Do not set them on private. If you're going to be on LinkedIn, you don't want to hide. So make sure that is open to recruiters. You can set those privacy settings to say, yes, I'm looking for a job. Yes, recruiters can find me. And make sure it is a public profile and turn off any privacy settings. If you are updating your profile, there is a way to go in and set your privacy settings. So every time you update your profile, the world isn't notified. But you can do that without closing your profile down so that people can actually find you. And you definitely want to spend time building a really powerful profile. Now, the first thing you want to think about is your profile photo, right? Profile photos that get noticed 21 times more than those that do not have a professional headshot. And as you can see, what you don't want to do is have headshots of other people that are in there with you. Don't try to, if you are in a wedding party or you're with your friends, don't try to crop them out and just have you in there. You don't want backgrounds that are distracting. You don't want just everyday shots or selfies. You want a nice professional photo that has a solid or non-distracting background where you are centered in the picture, where your eyes are facing the camera, and where you have a nice smile. You want people to get a sense of your personality with your profile picture, which is very important. In addition to your profile picture, you also want to make sure you have a nice background photo. So I don't have a slide for this one, but I just want to talk about that those two areas are key. Do not leave it blank. And when you think about your background photo, you want to think about something that's related to the industry that you're in or the industry that you want to go into. So it shouldn't be too busy, but it should be something that really, when people land there, they're like, oh, this is an engineer. Oh, this is an artist. This is someone who's interested in film. This is someone who is is interested in education, right? So you want to have a background photo that blends in also beautifully with whatever your profile photo looks like so that the two aren't clashing with colors or is too busy, but they really fit well together and are establishing your brand as soon as they land. We take in information more, 93% of our communication comes through what we see. So when you have those great images, it automatically sets a beautiful brand message for yourself. So don't skimp on those areas. In addition, LinkedIn has expanded the amount of characters that you can add in the headline space. There's 120 characters, so you just don't have to put in there, I'm a student, or here's my job title, right? This is often the first and only thing your audience will read about you. And whenever you post on LinkedIn, your profile photo, your background photo, and your headline are the things that people see. So you want to use that real estate powerfully. This will heavily influence your appearance in search results as well, right? Because that's what people are going to see is that headline. So customize, 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 and be sure that you're using that space for keywords. Also, LinkedIn just added a feature that allows you to add an audio of a pronunciation of your name. So if you have a name that's hard to pronounce, or people mispronounce it, or it looks like something, but you pronounce it in a different way, you can, through the mobile app, excuse me, you can go in and say your name so that the pronunciation of your name is available on that platform. So when you think about the headline, think about something like biology student and aspiring medical professional, economics student, detail collaborative driven, seeking summer internships, social media marketing specialist, seeking entry level opportunities, an emerging business professional, enthusiastic heart and a deliberate mind, bilingual in Spanish and English, right? These are detailed headlines that are more enhanced that really demonstrate and show who you are. Now let's talk about the About section. This is again, you want to utilize a brand statement. What do you have to offer? What are some of the goals and abilities that you want to add to that area? How do you accomplish your what? The skills and accomplishments that you've been able to achieve. Why do you do your what? This is where you introduce your passion and motivation. Who are you? This is where you bring in your characters, strengths, your strengths. And what are you currently seeking? And how should readers interact with you when they land on your website, your which is your LinkedIn profile, right? This is a great thing to add in your about section. I err on the side of beginning with a statement that really draws people in and is really shocking to them. And not shocking in a bad way, but makes them curious to want to read more. Most people start off by saying, "This is who I am, this is what I've done." But what if you started off with your strengths and said something like, a deliberative, open, communicative, innovative, creative individual who inspires to change the world through artistry, right? So if you started off a sentence with something like that, for example, and then went through some of the more details of your goals and abilities, skills, accomplishments, passion, motivations, characteristic traits, and strengths, then it would make people interested in reading those things when you capture them with a powerful beginning statement. Think of it as initially stating your elevator pitch before you jump into some of the more details about who you are. And then your About section is also a great space to add your email address or other ways that people can reach you. If you do have a different website, you can add a link there as well. So the About section is a powerful section that you don't want to leave blank, and you don't want a simple statement that I'm a student at George Fox and I'm interested in a job. You want it interesting to make people want to read more and explore more. Also, create a custom URL. So instead of, if when you start a profile, LinkedIn will just assign you a random number. But what you want to do is customize it to your name. And the way you do that is edit your public profile. And on the right, click Edit Public Profile URL. And then you can actually add whatever you want, right? So you can add this person could have had JB McCoy, Justin McCoy, so add something where it's going to be easy for people to type your name and find you. Then you want to make sure you're capturing your experience. So in the experience section, you want to think about talking about the results that you bring. What is it that not only that did you do, but how did what you do impact the organization or the company that you worked for? So you want to bring in the information from your resume, but this is an opportunity to elaborate a little bit more on the accomplishments that you were able to achieve to reinforce your professional brand. There's also other sections where you can add projects or volunteer experience. You can add awards, certifications, languages that you speak as well. And in the descriptions, you want to make sure that you're writing out in bullet points. You can use paragraphs, but if you're going to use paragraphs, make sure at some point you just add some bullet points to highlight some of the key things you want people to find. People read better in bullets, and it allows them to really scan through their profile to see what they're looking for. But sometimes it's okay to write a paragraph, particularly if you write well, but just add some bullet points so that people can really find you. And providing those short summaries, as I said, in sentence format are totally fine, but add some bullets as well. You also have a place where you can include interests and companies that you enjoy. It's a great idea to follow any company you're interested in working for, but also, follow other organizations and people that, you think are inspiring. So follow influencers in related fields. Also join groups. that are relevant to your profession. If there is a group that is an association of content writers or mechanical engineers or elementary educators, join those groups and start interacting with those groups and seeing who are participants in those groups. Build some connections, and you can do some informational interviews that way. So joining groups is a great way for you to continue to stay in the know and what's happening, and maybe hear about jobs or job openings before they're even listed out there in the public. LinkedIn is also a powerful way to research companies, and we're going to get more into this in another video where I'm going to talk about how to network and research organizations and how to find jobs using LinkedIn. But you want to be on this platform so that you can connect to individuals in other organizations, that you can find professionals to do informational interviews with, that you can connect to alumni, that you can learn about career trajectories by looking at other people's profiles and to see where they graduated and the majors they came out of and the jobs that they took. You can see their career trajectory to see if it matches your own, or it gives you an idea of how they were able to get to where they are right now. And that may interest you to be able to reach out to them and have an informational interview. It also allows you to research about other career opportunities in certain areas as well. So LinkedIn provides a plethora of ways for you to really not only learn more about your field, but also to network and connect to other people and land your ideal job and position you as someone that is a sought after candidate. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching and for joining me, and stay tuned for other videos that we'll be having available to you through our Career Corner here on our YouTube channel.